Hello there, Lunar Squadron, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have another very exciting Star Wars Outlaws update, as title update 1.3.0 is officially here. If you guys recall the roadmap that was released a while ago, this is the third title update for Star Wars Outlaws. It is finally here, and to be honest with all of you, we are pretty surprised by how big this update is. There's a lot of stuff listed on here, a lot of really great stuff, at least on paper. Of course, we don't know how all of this is going to translate into the game, but a lot of effort went into this gameplay update, and today we're going to sit down, we're going to analyze it, we're going to break it down because there's a lot of really cool stuff in here, a lot of stuff that we really wanted to see for this game. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel, we would love to have you as always, and the way to do that, just go down below this video, hit that little subscribe button and the bell notification right on next to it. That'll notify you every single time that Andreas and I upload. And if you'd like to take this conversation beyond the comment section on YouTube, make sure to head over to Twitter and follow us at Lunar Squadron, or jump into our Discord server. All of the information for that will be down below. Now, with all that out of the way, Andreas, let's talk about the next major gameplay update for Star Wars Outlaws.
All right, let's do this, guys. Back on September 27th, 2024, Star Wars Outlaws' Twitter account released a roadmap that showed Title Update 3 would be releasing on October 24th, and they said that the key focus of this title update would be, quote, quality of life improvements. And way back then, when we broke down the roadmap, I remember us raising an eyebrow thinking, what could quality of life improvements mean? It was kind of vague at the time, but now we got a little bit more specific than we were asking for, didn't we?
Yes, we sure did. Honestly, there are a lot of changes that were made to this game, and I guess that's to be expected since this is the first update in a couple of weeks. This isn't like a weekly update, but there really are a lot of substantial changes, and of course, this will be the final title update until Title Update 4, which will release on November 21st, which is a huge day for this game. It's almost like a second release date. It's when the game is coming out on Steam. It is when, of course, the first DLC will be released, and then, of course, we will have the big Title Update 4. So that will be a big day. We're less than a month away from that. But today we're talking about Title Update 3, and where I want to start is with the notable changes. These are the headlining changes that were made in this gameplay update.
Thanks to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. Whether you appreciate military history or just have a soft spot for the aviation industry like we do, War Thunder offers a highly immersive experience and is free to play on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. We've spent countless hours leveling up our aircraft from World War I era biplanes to the latest jet engine planes of the modern era. Join us and a community of over 70 million players worldwide in epic PvP battles as you take control of over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships. Every vehicle is intricately modeled down to its individual components, like engines, fuel tanks, weapons, and crew, all susceptible to damage or disabling from enemy fire, and different types of armor, shells, and missiles behave just like their real-world counterparts. Use our link in the description or pinned comment and play War Thunder for free today. You'll get a free bonus pack that includes multiple premium vehicles, premium account, exclusive decorations for your vehicles, and more.
And they are that they implemented stealth changes to False Flag and other missions to give players more flexibility in how they approach situations without the risk of failing. I know that is something that people have been asking for months now with this game, changing the stealth. They improved speed of travel by reducing collisions with objects in the environment. I feel like that change was made for you specifically, Andreas. They improved NPC combat behavior. That is one I'm very excited about and really interested to dive back into the game and see exactly what they tweaked in terms of that. They increased autosave opportunities in open world hostile areas, Imperial compounds, and faction territories. That was a much needed change to this game because there were situations where the autosave was just very frustrating and you could be set back at some points. I believe in the early access period for us, there was a moment where I was set back almost an hour because of this faulty system. They scaled the wanted difficulty based on player progression, and they improved AI speeder avoidance. Very cool. Of course, this is not all that they did, but these are what they have decided to list as the notable changes for this update.
Yeah, and I want to focus on the first one up front, and that one is that they have implemented certain stealth changes to specific story missions. And again, guys, I want to keep in mind here that Title Update 4, that's the next large title update scheduled to release on November 21st. The key focus of that update should be combat and stealth improvements. So it is welcome to see that at least some of those combat and stealth improvements have supposedly made their way into this update, and of course we'll have to play hands-on to actually test out to what extent these improvements are felt in-game. I know for a lot of us, we didn't really feel much of the updates that have hit so far, but at least for this one, I know a lot of people were very upset with the fail states playing through the story. I personally didn't have too many issues with this, but I do know that for some people this was a total turnoff and they straight up did not finish the story of this game because of the fail states of missions like false flag. So one question that I have personally is, I know that these different NPC adjustments, for example, you look through the patch notes, the specific patch notes at the bottom where it goes mission by mission, it says, for example, adjusted NPC and enemy placement. I do wonder if they are also adjusting NPC and enemy placement on certain areas that you go to in the open world. I'm talking side missions, and then just randomly when you're going around the world to different stealth portions, will that placement also be impacted on replay? So that's one question that I have. It doesn't seem like that's the case from reading through the patch notes, but that's something I'm going to be testing out pretty soon.
Yeah, definitely me too. I think there is, like we said, a lot of very exciting potential in this update, at least on paper. And of course, we're going to have to just all wait and see how this translates in the game. But I am very satisfied with Title Update 3. I think they did a lot of great stuff. I highly recommend, if you guys have not read the full patch notes yet, to go read them. Honestly, they're very long. I mean, they have updates to performance and stability, general gameplay, the UI, audio improvements, cinematics, camera, world, sabacc, photo mode, on and on and on. So many changes were made in this title update. There really was a lot of effort put into this one, and I appreciate the effort that was put into it. And a couple that I would just like to highlight that really stood out to me throughout this is they improved overall stability and FPS drops. That is very welcome improvement to this game. One of my personal favorites that they added today was that the equipment screen now has an option to mark all items as viewed, because Andreas, for me, that is a huge quality of life improvement, because it was incredibly frustrating to always have that little notification thing over it, and it was saying that you still had things to check off, but you really didn't. If this really is where you can just press like square or something and it just removes that from my life, that is a huge quality of life improvement for me. Another one that stood out to me was that they changed the NPC voice lines to be more consistent with player detection, just more of that immersion stuff. And a big one, they improved textures that play during cinematics. Just, again, something that I really wanted to see. So just a lot of great stuff going on in this update, and I'm really excited to dive back into the game, and hopefully this all translated well, because if it didn't, then none of this matters, of course. But, you know, we got to jump back into the game and see what's up.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks like these updates are in the 5 gigabyte range on Series X and S. It is over 5 gigs on PlayStation. It's about 3.48 gigs. And then on PC, it's roughly 4.88 gigs. So a moderately sized update, and I'm really interested to see how much they held off for the next title update. Of course, they are taking this one step at a time, so we kind of just have to take them as they come at this point. And I do have a few questions about this list here. For example, up on the top where it says improved NPC combat behavior, it doesn't really specify down below in the more in-depth patch notes what exactly they mean by that. For example, in the general gameplay section, it says improved NPC and player animations, and animations are not necessarily combat behavior. So I don't know if those things are one-to-one or how exactly they have improved NPC combat behavior. And of course, they are promising that the next large title update will focus on stealth and combat, so I do want to take this with a grain of salt at this point, because they are promising a larger update. Also, one other area that you pointed out, Nick, about the cinematics. A lot of people are very critical about the cinematics in Star Wars Outlaws, but more so on the animation side than on the texture side. And of course, here they're saying that they're improving textures during cinematics but not necessarily animations, lip sync, things like that were issues for a lot of people playing this game. And with the next update looking like it is focusing on gameplay, combat, and stealth, I'm not sure if we are ever going to see improvements to things like lip sync and animations for those cinematics. So they might just be what they are. I would kind of expect that at this point. And if Ubisoft ever comes in and improves that, like, great, but I really would set expectations accordingly. But like you said, Nick, everything else, it's really great to see everything listed out here. And really where the rubber is going to meet the road or not is when we're actually with our hands on the controller feeling or not feeling these improvements in game.
Yeah, it definitely does feel like the dream of a huge graphical upgrade or overhaul is kind of dead. Like it was probably never realistic in the first place. Maybe with the PS5 Pro coming out, it becomes Pro enhanced and maybe that makes it significantly better, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. I feel like that is a dream that is just going to die, and Ubisoft is not exactly a studio known for its animation, so I don't expect those to have a substantial improvement anytime soon, which of course, it's disappointing, especially when some of the games out there that have just phenomenal cinematics and animations and graphical stuff. So that is disappointing, but you never know. Maybe they could surprise us in Title Update 4. The last thing I do want to say is I was surprised by how combat and stealth heavy the gameplay changes were for this update when it was supposed to be that quality of life update, and then Title Update 4 was supposed to be the combat and stealth update. So really interested to see what they end up changing in the next update, because it felt like a lot of those changes were made today. So I think that's just something to really keep an eye on going into that next update, is what else are they going to change where that is the highlight, that is what they've chosen to highlight as the next title update. What does that mean for combat and stealth in this game?
Yeah, I'm really glad that you pointed that out, because I do think that is the final frontier of improvement for this game. I do think that is the one area where, particularly, how many missions have you guys played where enemy combatants start piling up on their speeders and just sit there on their speeders and don't even engage with you in any sort of tactical manner? Of course, this update promises that it is fixing an issue where NPC speeders could collide with each other, but that wasn't really my main issue was with the NPCs. It was more with the enemy combatants, so I don't know if that's being fixed here. I would expect that to be fixed in the next title update. Little things like that are really what I want to see be fixed in the next one, because it looks like we're done and dusted with this one, and dreams like we had, like any potential for, say, a mini-map. I know that was like a pipe dream, but I think that's dead and buried now that the quality of life update has come and gone, and really my sights are now turned to combat and stealth. What is possible to improve in that area? That's really going to be the big make or break difference for a lot of people with this game, because a lot of the criticism about this game was about combat and stealth. So I think it's crunch time here.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like if there's ever going to be a substantial change, it was always going to be with that title update 4, with the next big, second release date with the game coming on Steam and the DLC and all of that. So if it's ever going to happen, it was probably going to happen there. So just be something we're going to have to wait and see, and maybe we'll get more information about what to expect over the next few weeks.
Don't forget to use our link in the description to play War Thunder for free today on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. And get this free bonus pack that includes multiple premium vehicles, premium account, exclusive decorations for your vehicles, and more.
Anyway, guys, let us know your thoughts down below on the brand new gameplay update for Star Wars Outlaws. Does this have you excited to jump back in? Are you disappointed with the changes? Did it not do enough for you? What was your favorite change that was made today? I really do love that they are addressing the NPC animations and combat behavior. I really am excited to dive back in and just hope that they made that better, because the NPC in this game tends to be pretty damn stupid, to be honest with you, so I'm really hoping they made substantial changes there. But guys, just let us know all of your thoughts down below in the comments. You know we love talking with you guys about all of this stuff. But that is going to do it for us for this one. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, we will see you all next time.